The Boys season 4 has come to an end. The 8th episode, the season finale. How was it? It's pretty diggity dig ding dang gosh darn good. Yeah, I thought this was actually a pretty great finale. One thing that I am going to address though, like right up front, it is really weird how they handle Huey. Like they have shown this man getting sexually assaulted multiple times this season, and like it was really weird because during the Tech Night episode, I actually thought it was handled like I thought it was handled well because I was like, damn, this is being portrayed as like a horrific thing. But then in an interview, like the showrunner thought that it was it was supposed to be like comedic, and I'm like, that's really weird. And then the last episode, he technically gets sexually assaulted again by the shapeshifter lady. And I mean, they don't portray it as a good thing. I think they still portray it pretty horrifically, but like there isn't like I felt like there needed to be like some more trauma from those experiences from Huey. And I don't think that I just don't think that the show is portraying it with as much gravity as it's called for. Cuz like I remember they did a really good job with Starlight. When when the Deep did what he did to her. And I just don't understand. I feel like they just had a good opportunity to explore like male sexual assault with Huey, and they just didn't take it. Now, there are some people that I think go a little far, and they say that like, oh well, the show hates Huey, blah blah blah. I don't think that the show hates Huey. Like, I don't think that I actually think that this is, aside from that, a really good episode for Huey's character because he kind of becomes the light of the boys again, right? That sort of light in the darkness, and he's like, we need to not be as bad as them, and we can't just keep resorting to violence every time. Like I thought all of that stuff was really good. Um so like I don't think that I truly don't think that the show hates Huey. I just think that, and this is gonna be cringe, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I just think that this is like what like actual toxic masculinity is, right? Where it's like men aren't treated as to be as vulnerable as women. So it's just like I think that it probably they probably just looked over it. Like they probably didn't have that immediate like natural human reaction, right? That you have with something like Starlight, where it's like, yeah, this needs to be highlighted, and this needs to be we need to really say something with this. I just don't think they had that same natural human reaction with Huey's sexual assault, which I think is problematic, and I think that is something that that deserves to be called out. I just don't know. I don't think that they hate Huey because they like Huey they did like this episode specifically was actually a pretty big episode for Huey himself. So I don't know. I just but it needs to be called out. It really does because it is just fucking weird. Oh, and you know the other thing that I'm gonna call that I'm just gonna be straight up and honest about as well. So this episode is obviously very timely, right? We have attempted assassinations for political figures. There may have been something that happened recently in the real world, as of recording this video, right? Donald Trump, there was an assassination attempt on him. I understand that people view The Boys season 4 and they're like, man, they're really going too far with the politics. The politics are a little too heavy-handed, blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, first of all, I don't even think that's true. I feel like we've been gaslit. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure The Boys has always had heavy-handed political messaging. But I also just want to, because in this episode we like see we we see Homelander and people like orchestrating a lot of this stuff. He talks about how he's gonna like orchestrate riots and get like his supporters to riot and blah 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 blah, and that it's all a part of the plan. And I know that people are gonna look at that stuff and be like, man, they're being heavy-handed with the politics and blah 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 blah. And I just want to be clear about something. And this is something that I personally believe. I personally believe that Donald Trump incited an insurrection. I believe that he spent like an hour, um, you know, hyping the rioters up, telling them that their country is being stolen from them, insisting that that they're faking everything, that the election is rigged. And then yes, like I think it was near the end of the speech, like it was like one moment where he was like, "And you're gonna marriage peacefully," but he says that after like an hour of hyping them up, of convincing them that their country is being taken away from them. But let's say that one line where he was like, "And you're gonna marriage peacefully," blah. Let's say that one line is enough for you to just like not blame him at all for the whole situation. Tell me why, when they start, doing the insurrection, tell me why Donald Trump spent 3 hours calling up, politicians, trying to get them to, to not go through with the peaceful transfer of power. Tell me why he does that for 3 hours and doesn't call off the rioters. You like, and like, I'm sorry, but like, I just have to be honest about this. Like, Donald Trump is a traitor to this country. Because then let's say no, that convinces you. Tell me why his response to being like, to facing the music and facing judgment for all of this. Tell me why his response is to be granted full criminal immunity. Tell me why his response in court isn't, "Well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it." Tell me why it's, "I need to be granted full criminal immunity." I don't, like, I'm watching The Boys and I'm just like, this isn't, reality is beyond parody. Like, I don't even think that The Boys can be heavy-handed. I don't think that's possible. Now listen, if you disagree with a lot of what I said, I don't hate you. I don't, like, you can still continue watching the channel and I will treat you like a human being and whatnot. I just feel like I have to like earnestly explain my point of view, even though I generally don't like getting into politics. I just feel like I have to explain my point of view so that I can make the point that I don't think that that is possible for The Boys to be heavy-handed with its political messaging, because this just is the reality of the world. This is just reality, So, anyways, I just wanted to up front get those two things out of the way. Let's talk about the episode itself now. Okay, so we see Butcher. I listen. I said that I thought that like this season was gonna end with Butcher breaking bad. They kind of indicated that he wasn't gonna break bad, like for the past couple episodes, but I was ultimately right. He did indeed break bad. He allowed Jeffrey Dean Morgan to take over him, like the Joker in Batman Arkham Knight. And yeah, I mean, listen, I don't necessarily like I would argue that the moment that it happened was probably when Mallory messed this up. Like, I think like the moment that Mallory messed this up and Ryan killed her and Butcher realized that, like, damn, Ryan, there's probably no hope for Ryan, or like Ryan has maybe gone too far, even though I obviously there's still hope for Ryan. I just think that at that moment Butcher realized that if he has to kill Ryan as well, then he's okay with doing that. Like, I think like training Ryan to stop Homelander was like the last resort for him, like actually the last possible resort that would keep him from Breaking Bad and like doing the soup genocide with the virus. But I think that Ryan leaving that room and killing Mallory, I think that is like the thing that caused Butcher to be like, okay, that's it. I have to do what I got to do. So yeah, that's it's pretty wacky. It's pretty wild, pretty insane. Oof, yeah, and then yeah, so I guess he has tentacle powers. Is that who else did we see that has like tentacle powers? I feel like we saw somebody that had those same powers. Am I wrong? wasn't there another hero that had similar powers? But yeah, so he's also crazy strong because he literally broke um or he like ripped the stretchy pastor guy apart, which is like which is pretty crazy because presumably he's like Mr. Fantastic. So the idea of like stretching and like ripping him apart seems like like you have to be like really strong to do that, I would assume. So yeah, Butcher's crazy strong. He kills Victoria Newman, which is wacky and insane. Um, Also, in terms of Victoria Newman, I mean, I guess it's irrelevant now. I felt like in the beginning of the episode when Homelander like fakes her out and reveals that she's a soup. Am I wrong in thinking that he he faked her out by like laser visioning near her? And did Victoria Newman try to blow up his head? I feel like she did, right? So I think they were kind of telling us that she doesn't have that power. I think so, right? I could be wrong though. But anyways, it doesn't matter now because she's dead. um, I also really like this scene, where like Annie is having to confront herself. Look at the thematic messaging of this scene, because the shapeshifter lady is Annie. That's crazy. No, but this actually was a really good scene. I like that she's like this season she's kind of been struggling with like living up to the Homelander, or not sorry, not the Homelander, the Starlight legacy and whatnot, and she's kind of just realizing that she's just never gonna be that, which I don't think is like a bad way to cap off that arc. You know what I mean? Also, I don't. Oh yeah, because then the Annie fights Annie. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty satisfying, like a resolution for her character. What's going on with Matt? Where is he? With Firecracker, because she's like sick. Am I crazy? Or when did they poison her with the virus? Did I just completely forget that they ever poisoned Firecracker with the virus? Because I remember Annie like puts her to sleep in the Tech Night episode, but I don't think she injected her with a virus or anything, did they? I'm trying to remember. I don't think that they did. So I feel like Firecracker might just be sick for some other reason. Not entirely sure. Also, very gross and very disgusting that like they implied that, or like they like Homelander was drinking her breast milk and then like he like stopped drinking it after he realized she was sick. Didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. Also, not great that Homelander is now just confident enough to have the breast milk just out in the open. He's having his meeting, and he's like just casually drinking the breast milk. So not great. I don't like that. I don't like that image, quite frankly. But that meeting, of course, leads to Ashley getting Gen V. Pretty badass, not gonna lie. Listen, Ashley, not necessarily a good person, but they have made her relatively sympathetic. Pretty badass that they're like wiping out all the guys, and she's like, you know what? I'm taking the V. I'm getting superpowers. And then her head started expanding. I wonder if they're gonna make her like the leader. She's gonna have a big old head. I wonder if that's what it's gonna be. But yeah, we don't get the resolution of that. At some point next season, we're gonna find out what happened to Ashley. So I thought that was pretty fun. I also so Kimiko and Frenchie end up like getting together for sure, or like they confess their love for each other. I'll be honest, I didn't mind the whole Frenchie relationship storyline because I never really thought of Kimiko and Frenchie as like love interests. Like I always did kind of view them as like a brother and sister type of scenario. Like I always, especially because like it always felt like Kimiko just wasn't like nearly as like mature as Frenchie, and that I always just viewed them on different wavelengths. Where like Frenchie is like a older brother to Kimiko, so I didn't mind that they near the beginning of the season when they were like, yeah, we just don't really have romantic feelings for each other. But I guess they decided to get with each other. I mean, I'm not mad at it necessarily because obviously, like they have feelings for each other and they do have this now like shared bonding of like feeling guilty for one another, and they can now move or not or sorry feeling guilty because of the things that they've done. They do have that shared bond, and now they can like move forward and work towards not hating themselves in the future together. So it's like I'm not pissed off at it, but I personally didn't mind the idea of them not being together. I know a lot of people were mad about that. um but yeah, so we'll see. I also liked we got now like a soup army. So Homelander's technically not president, but if we're being real, he basically is president now. Like the president guy is gonna do whatever Homelander says. It seems like, and now they've now made like soup's like a part of the military, or at the very least, like they're like their own like department now. They're their own authority. It seems like. So yeah, it seems like next season it really does seem like it's just going to be all out war, where the soups are going to be cracking down, and they're going to have like legal authority. They're going to be cracking down on shit, which is going to be terrifying probably, and it is going to be all out war where like Butcher is just going to try and actually commit a genocide. That's what it seems like, and it's gonna be crazy. I also liked how Sage revealed that it was all her master plan. And I like that she also just revealed that she doesn't necessarily have much in like emotional investment in the whole situation. She just like she just liked the challenge of it, and I feel like that's actually pretty cool motivation for her character, where she's like, yeah, listen, I know that you're stupid, and I know that you're immature. I just appreciate that you gave me the opportunity to see if I could take over the world, which I actually like that about her character. And then they start like kidnapping all of the boys at the end. I'm not showing anything else from this scene. This is with Mother's Milk. You saw what happened. This was genuinely heartbreaking. Kimiko, like saying her first words since her, the traumatic event, because Frenchie's getting taken away, but Frenchie doesn't even register that she's speaking because he's like mind controlled by the Gen V lady. Yeah, that was heartbreaking, like genuinely heartbreaking. So then Huey also gets taken away, and then I remember this person from like season 3, right? I'm trying to remember. Is this person? They might be a they them. I don't know. Is she like super, or are they like super strong? Because I don't really understand why Starlight ran away. Like, did Starlight think that she wouldn't be able to take this person? I didn't really understand why Starlight would run away and not fight. That was a little weird. So I don't know. I might have to look into who that is. And they also teased Soldier Boy. So yeah, I guess he's not dead. He'll be back next season. It feels like Homelander is somewhat... I still think, he still views him as a dad. He still has like a weird emotional attachment to him. So that's pathetic, but that's probably going to play into next season as well. Is Queen Maeve still alive as well? I think they revealed at the end of the last season, right? That Queen Maeve is also still alive, right? So I wonder if she's going to... I feel like she's going to pop in at some point next season. I think she'll be involved. They've also been kind of teasing Queen Maeve because Homelander has like a Queen Maeve like notebook, and they've always been like resting the camera on that notebook various times throughout the season. So I feel like Queen Maeve is also going to come back next season. But overall, I do think that this is probably the weakest season of The Boys. I do think that it feels a little bit like a filler season. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, they could have condensed a lot of what they've been doing this season into like 4 episodes, I feel like. And I feel like this like this feels like a really great like mid-season finale. And then I feel like the second half of All Out War should have been the latter half of whatever the season was. You know what I mean? So I still enjoyed it, and I do think that this finale is great, and I do now have faith, especially knowing that next season is going to be the last season. Especially knowing that, like, I do think they are going to... I think they'll stick the landing for sure, but this does feel like a bit of a filler season because they're just kind of trying... It felt like they were not wanting to do too much as far as, like, world progression and story progression because they want to leave it all for season 5. That's just kind of what it felt like. And of course, we're still going to get Gen V season 2 before then, so we'll also get other stuff in Gen V season 2. So we'll see where that goes as well. But yeah, overall I thought it was good, but not the best season at all. Probably the worst, in fact. But those are my opinion. Let me know what you think about anything that I said in the video. I know I kind of started off a little heavy, but I felt like I needed to be honest about that in order to give my genuine opinion on the show. So there's that. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.